Welcome back, everyone. I know I'm a couple of days late, but there are some things going on with family, so I do need to take care of that. But today I'm going to look at the Roots of Corruption set preview that was released on the 27th of January. We'll go through what Equinox put out themselves and then also what was put onto the game found. So I'm excited to be able to go look through this with you. So shadows loom over the Rika capital, but even as corruption spreads through its streets, the city refuses to fall. Darker and more unsettling than previous sets, Roots of Corruption plunges you into an epic stand of resistance as nightmarish entities tear at the fabric of reality and descend upon the Rika civilization. Drive back the darkness in Roots of Corruption, Altered sixth and most ambitious expansion yet, revealed now on GameFound. So we'll go look at it in a second. For me, one of the things to consider as we're going through here is we're going to know that there's three new heroes. There's going to be six in total. Who are the other three? They did an AMA yesterday, and they alluded to that maybe we're not going to get the three heroes from Seeds of Unity come back. It may be something else. I think, though, we are. That's just my impression, is that we're going to have the three new heroes, so at least they're there for two sets. But it could be the heroes from Skybound Odyssey. We had six new heroes. Some of them have only been in one set. So unsure, or maybe we're going to have 12 heroes. Who knows? But I'm excited to see here. You can see the beautiful art that's been presented. You can see in the art themselves. I'm going to just circle here. The eye. The eye is central to a lot of the set design and the colors. You are seeing the world tree of the Rika just absolutely dying. You're seeing that there are these entities or these darkness coming up through the world. And of course, we're going to have a Bravos hero, we're going to have a Lyra hero, and we're going to have an Izmir here as well that have joined us, and we'll go through each of them. This is really, really cool. I love that they're sending this up. I know there's some people that are getting a little upset that we're getting a lot of these previews, a lot of this stuff so early before we've already seen Seeds of Unity, but I also think most people can understand why, because of the cycle and how long it takes to get printing and production done for every set. It's a 4-month cycle as far as we've been advised, and in doing so, you've got to get people hyped up as they're about to get the new product that there is something more to happen, that there's more to come, that this isn't the last set. Seeds of Unity is not the last set. There is something more to come. So fight back alongside three new heroes. The fight for survival brings three new heroes from the Bravos, Lyra, and Izmir factions to the front line. Rika and Asgarthans from all factions need to unite to face the encroaching darkness and protect the city's inhabitants. Discover brand new gameplay mechanics, most notably feats, a completely new type of permanence, representing the heroic resilience of the populace who stands up against the nightmare. And you can see here, so we've got Gretel and Rust, and now basically we've got confirmation that the names that were leaked or presented a few weeks ago are actually the names of these heroes. Although Gretel had previously had Suniva as its name, or at least that's what some people assumed, it is Gretel and Rust with this big lollipop of some kind, Yongji or Yonggi, and Ember. And if I remember what Nick had said, if this is basically Korean background, then it would be Yonggi and Ember and Sam and Spook. And one of the things to note with Sam and Spook is they have basically embraced the corruption the way I look at it. When you look at corrupted cards, and we're going to see through those, when you see the red eyes, you see that glow, it means they have been corrupted in one way or another. So how is Sam and Spook able to survive? Looking at their hero abilities, so Gretel and Rust is our second hero with 3 landmarks. Okay, 2 in the reserve. Everyone's still only got 2 cards that they can keep in reserve, but this allows you to have 3, so you can keep up to 3 cards in your landmarks during night. And at noon, if you control a feat, create a Rust 000 token in your companion expedition. So it's a companion with, on play, I gain 1 boost per completed feat in your landmark. Not bad. You can only keep the feats, though. They're interesting. There are some feats that we're going to talk about that allow you to keep an extra landmark, so you can have more than 3. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But this hero looks fantastic. Then you got Yongyi and Ember, a Lyra hero. So tap her and target a character you control, then roll a die. You may then spend any number of my luck counters to increase the results. On a 4+, it activates its X or its discard ability from reserve. You don't have to discard the card though. It just activates the ability. And on 1 to 3, I gain 1 luck counter. So for me, when you may spend any number of luck counters, it means you can run it I don't know if it means when you increase the result, it increases it by one, or you get to roll the dice multiple times. I think what it means, it increases the result by one. It's just a little bit complicated there, but I think this will be really fun. So you can play a lot more cards with their abilities without losing card advantage when you do that. And then Sam and Spook on in Izmir, tap her, draw a card, then discard a card from your hand. You can only activate this if you are first player, but when 6 cards or more are in your discard pile, are permanently gain when you discard a card from your hand, return it to your reserve. So every second day you'll get a card draw. It's almost as if this is the Izmir version of Trace, right? But you don't get it the first few days. Honestly, you can get 6 cards in your reserve in your discard pile pretty quickly. It's whether or not you're willing to actually go down on day one and potentially day three, or two. There could be 2 or 3 days that you have to do this before you have the 6 cards in reserve. So it may actually encourage people to play a little bit more costly cards in their hand. So a loss doesn't mean you don't actually go 2-0. You could go 1-1 more than likely. But I do like the different dynamics that they put in play. That things that I personally have not even really considered. And the art again, fantastic. Yonggi and Ember. It looks like that is one of the Jins. So not sure. It looks a little like a Loki version of Jin. And when I say Loki, I mean in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. Okay, and then Sam and Spook, you can see here by the type of elephant, the ethereal elephant that we see. Is it something or somewhat related to Baku, or is it just an elephant, right? And you can see that Sam is also a bit of a fangirl with a whole bunch of things and trinkets that actually show the Izmir symbol. You don't get to see it in this picture, but her shoes, her socks have it as well. And on the other side, I just absolutely love Gretel, the way that that looks. And Rust as the hero, really, sorry, as the companion, really, really cool. All right, Face the Corruption is the next part of here. So the atmosphere has shifted. The emergence of corruptions, stigmas, and plagues introduce terrifying antagonists that warp the very fabric of the set. Fight the darkness or harness its power with 12 new exalted cards, including 6 feats and 6 plagues, 1 for each faction. So you're going to have your exalted card, 6 that will do some level of good, and 6 feats, so you have to accomplish a mission of some kind, and 6 that are plagues. Now we're looking at all the different variants of the cards. You can see here the corrupted cards, and we haven't been told how many corrupted cards there are basically reincarnations of previous cards released. I'm assuming most of them are going to come from first set and second and third sets. I don't know, but you can see here Corrupted Esmeralda 2/2 for a 0/3/3. I believe the common in the traditional Esmeralda was 0/2/2. It still has its from hand ability, which is resupply, but then it gains an extra, so it becomes stronger. But if you don't meet the condition, you get a downside. So I gain fleeting unless X ability or a discard ability was activated this turn. And just note that could be through the hero ability that you may have. It could be from the feats that you've created, if that's the case, or it could be from just getting rid of a card in your reserve. So you can do that as well. It can happen anyway. And look at the fantastic text here. Are you sure you want to follow me into hell, Fen? Love it. Love it. And then we've got the stigma. So a variant of the stigma. So this is a character. It's a corrupted character. Corruption. 6/5 for 5/5/6 for the stigma of havoc. When played from hand, each player discards their reserve, resupplies, and then resupplies again. This is great in Lyra. It actually can get a lot of people into some big trouble if they're trying to build up their reserves. Also, if you have no cards in your reserve, you can also play this and get 2 cards from it as well. And then it has an X ability or discard ability, create an aerolith token in target player's landmarks. And you can see here the set design or the set logo is basically this all-seeing eye, the evil eye as it's called, and we'll go through that a little bit later. And then a beautiful plague card. So this is one of the other one of the exalteds that we see here. 7/7, Plague of Arrogance, a character corruption. So the Bravos one is 7/7 for 4/4/3. It's gigantic on play, and when played from anywhere, sacrifice a feat to choose 1, or sacrifice a completed feat to choose 2. So you can either sabotage, you can send target character to reserve, or it gains 2 boosts. And just think about it. This is now 7/7 for a 6/6/5 potentially. If you end up getting the 2 boosts, you can sabotage or you can remove a card from reserve. If you're playing second, this is fantastic because you can basically eliminate the competition for sure. The next part he has collect new treasures is the next segment. For me, I think these are chase cards that are going to be alternates that you can look for. I don't that doesn't tell us how easy or difficult they are, but exclusive and thematic card treatments that capture the eerie beauty of the set are coming to Altered for the first time. Hunt down corrupted evil eye cards, shattered stigmas, and even frame breaking awakened plagues. Hero treatments are back again with a full art and alternate art heroes and serialized versions of these most prized cards. So that is happening as part of Seeds of Unity. It will also return, but then they're giving us more chase cards, which is what I've always requested. I've always asked for this because it brings a bit more of the investor into the game, and also for us to have some prettier looking cards, some more unique, some more exclusive looking cards in the game. So Corrupted Tooth Fairy is the first one to look at. So this is what you can see here. There's going to be a Corrupted Tooth Fairy version that doesn't have the eye. So this is the evil eye treatment that you can see here, like sketches in white. They've basically taken the picture and taken off the color by with a knife, for example. So it's exactly the same card, just a different alternate art here. 2/2 for 1/1, and similar to what we saw with the Corrupted Esmeralda, it still has from hand sabotage. It has a bit higher stats, and it gains fleeting unless 6 or more cards are in your discard pile. So that is what you have to do to be able to make sure it doesn't gain fleeting. The Stigma of Cowardice is the second one, and here you can see the shattered glass. So basically, the shattered stigma, smashing a glass and it cracks and creates a view of an alternate universe. Maybe that is part of the theme of this. So 4/4 for 4/4 for the Stigma of Cowardice. Tough one. When you play this card, you pass, and when an opponent passes, you may play a card, paying its normal cost, of course. So that's actually pretty good. It would be very, very good in our current Soul hero, but it doesn't. It also could help you in a few other heroes. We'll see what ends up happening. But Soul would absolutely love this card and be able to react at the end. And then the Plague of Arrogance. So you're seeing it's exactly the same, but what it does show up, and this is an awakened Plague card because it's frame breaking. You can see that the feet are kind of going over the image here on one side. They're going, and the flames are going over the text of the card. Really lovely. I would love to see how this looked like with a foil treatment. So whether you are a competitive player or a dedicated collector, this set offers more ways than ever to find the rarest gems. Between special boosters, collector boosters, and box toppers, every pack opening is more exciting than the last. And I think that's great. They're continuing that trend that they started with Seeds of Unity. For now, for new or returning players, Started X are back featuring 2 of the set's heroes, Yongyi and Ember for Lyra, and Sam and Spook for Izmir, so it may be a lot more spell heavy in terms of being able to introduce this deck through the Started X here. You can see here the different kinds of cards and packs that you'll be able to receive, so the different options, not bad. Join the fight and save the city, and check out full details of the expansion, including card reveals and more, on our official GameFound page. Now, I'm going to take you through the GameFound. I'm not going to go through it all. I just want to go through a little bit of what they say, how they're promoting these new heroes. And this is a fantastic card. There's an ember of some kind that she's holding, or this character's holding. You can see that they are corrupted. I'm trying to figure out who it is, who we've seen before that has become corrupted of some kind. And once again, corruption for me because of the red eyes. And if you know, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. So set overview, fight back alongside 3 new heroes. I just want to tell you a little bit of what they say. So awakened champions for Bravos is Gretel and Rust. With 3 landmark slots, push your limits and achieve the most extraordinary feats. Summon your companion, Rust, and etch your greatest deeds into history. So not much telling us in terms of how to do the gameplay, but you will be using a lot more landmarks in here. Hopefully more of the feats, but there's not that many of them to complete. So I wonder how that's going to grow. I wonder if the next set is going to build upon it. I wonder if this set is also going to build upon some of the dynamics that were started in Seeds of Unity, because when I listened to the AMA, it felt like a lot of those elements that were introduced are not being repeated. Like, for example, the Ascended may not be there for when we're looking at Seeds of Unity. I'm just using an example. So I do like the idea of giving more support to the new heroes, but I also think you need to revisit some of the dynamics that they've brought up. But anyway, those are just hopes that I have as we go on, and the game will get better. The game will grow. You'll be able to get just a couple more things. You're only changing a little bit. So Lyra, Yonggi, and Ember, alchemists of scent. So banish misfortune and ensure luck is on your side to drive back the nightmare. Reactivate your support abilities and help the people by raising morale and soothing spirits. So reactivating your support abilities because you can play them once when you play them from your hand. Um, and then activate it, target a character, then roll a die. So you can activate it, and then you can activate them again from reserve, so you don't actually lose it the first time you use it. That's all they're telling us at the moment. And with Izmir's Sam and Spook, abomination hunters. To fight the nightmare, sometimes you must become a nightmare yourself. So I think it is absolutely right. This character, it looks like Sam is corrupted. Do not fear discarding your cards as you'll quickly unlock your full potential, and that potential is yet to be seen in terms of its benefit. But card advantage is key in most TCGs. It is very much important for this game, especially if you can play a lot of lower cost cards. But it goes counter to what I said earlier, because what I said earlier is if you're getting rid of cards early, you hope that you have enough cards that cost a bit more to kind of counterbalance what you're doing. But this also says, I'm interested to see how this plays out. It is going to be a very fascinating hero. And some of the themes and mechanics, again, something unspeakable emanates from the breach, scarring the Naos. And one thing I think about is, what did the Naos do to the world tree? How are they destroying, per se, the world that caused this nightmare to come up? Like, are we going to see that conflict that says these, I was going to say the word oligarch, I won't use that, these Rika, I guess, bosses, I will remember the name later, what have they done to their society that causes this disruption, this craziness coming from nature in and of itself, or this breach from the other side of the world, from the dream world to come through? So a tormented and winding shadow that descends upon the city seeps through the streets and soon devours the entire capital. Feats. Perform feats, a new type of permanent that grants you bonuses throughout the game once you complete its objective. And we have here the Last Stand as an example. So, played from anywhere, send to reserve target character with base cost 3 or less, and when you pass, if you control another feat, you can complete me. Okay, not bad. And once it's completed, your landmark limit is 4. Nice. So this is how you're going to get some synergies with the new Bravos hero, right? You're going to be able to play her out, get all these cards, and then basically almost for free, you're going to be able to have some strength in there. Interesting. All right. Then we've got support abilities. So protect the inhabitants and assist your allies thanks to the support abilities of your characters. So if a card in your expeditions or your reserve has an X ability, I gain 1 boost, is what Lyra Pfeiffer says. So interesting here. Not bad. This card doesn't have it, but if you do play it and you can do that, once again, linking it to Yongi, you'll be able to even get more benefits. So very, very interesting, very smart. And then this guy looks kind of strange. Baron Cimetière, a mage character that's got a snake around him, butterflies. I'm assuming the way that they see is through these mana moths, but that looks more like a butterfly to me, but maybe it is. I think it is a mana moth. And when played from hand, if 6 or more cards are in your discard pile, create a mana moth 2/2 illusion token in target expedition. Not bad for 3 resources. You're getting 4/4 worth of value. And it says here, wield the most volatile and dangerous magic by discarding your cards and turning it into your advantage. So not bad at all. Okay. And then the last part here, rediscover familiar characters in their corrupted form. I think this is in line with what I said before. So you're going to get here the corrupted Esmeralda. As the first resistance movements organize, the nightmare spreads through the population. While some manage to resist, familiar faces are transformed and lost to the corruption. Are we going to have some deaths? Are we going to have people, maybe even heroes, leave us and then confront your greatest fears? So you can see here, lovely, we've already gone through these cards. In this chaos, the inhabitants' deepest fears come to life and feed the nightmare. From this darkness, the stigmas are born, monstrous incarnations of their weaknesses, alongside the plagues, devastating titans, whose advance seems impossible to halt. Okay, and we know we're going to have exalted cards back. There's going to be 2 per, and we're having the Plague of Prejudice is another one they've shown us. 5/2 for 2/2/2. I gain anchored when played and sent to reserve each other character with forest lower than or equal to mine. That may be really fun to play. Muna, some kind of removal. This isn't bad at all. And then the exalted feats, close the breach, being shown here in terms of one of them. And this is when played from anywhere, discard target character with Base cost 3 or less. When you pass first, if you are first player, complete me. When you pass after your opponents, if you are first player, complete me. So kind of an oxymoron there, but it can be possible. And then when you complete it, then you can tap this, pay 1, and target characters you control, gain 1 boost. So target character, 1 single character, and then you after you. Not bad for Izmir. This would be really good in a Kesha. I really think, and maybe some of the other heroes as well, which are looking to play last. And we can see here that evil lies, the corrupted, corruption spreads and looms out everywhere. We've already seen this card. Shattered stigmas, so we've seen this one as well. And then the plague of arrogance, you can see how it goes over. Really, really cool. I love this hero, sets heroes. So Izuri is back, and we can see here Gretel and Russell. We do know Izuri is one of the heroes, so really, really cool design. Love it. Full art. Just really good alternate arts. Fantastic. I'm just going to leave it there, and on that, I bid you adieu. Ciao.